Hey pals, welcome to another episode of the Plot Pals podcast.
Welcome to a New York coded episode about a dark, gritty, morally gray story by ultimate New Yorker Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro.
This city here is like an open sewer, you know? It's full of filth and scum.
I think I know what you mean, Travis. But it's not gonna be easy.
Robert De Niro in Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver.
And guess what? Today we discuss halfway from New York and from Toronto.
Right, live from New York. I have to ask you, how's Travis right now?
Oh my god, I think I am Travis myself. I've been living the exact same life as him these past few days.
Oh my god.
So I feel like I've embodied his life perfectly.
Really?
Because imagine, what's he doing all day? Driving around. That's literally the story of my life.
That's true.
The food that he's eating, I've been living off of noodles for a week. And he's even journaling. That's
you
all
do
I
that?
do here.
Oh god. Yeah. You are a menace now.
Everything is the same except for the murder and prostitution.
Oh, you'll be there. You'll be there. Like 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks.
Exactly. It's only been a few days for me and I've been living so much like him. The thing with this movie is it's unbelievable how accurate it is to about life in New York. Not to say that that's how life is now. You know, New York is super safe, super beautiful, perfect.
Oh.
But
really?
But then seriously, the taxi drivers, however, are exactly how they were depicted here. Like they are all crazy, I have to say.
Oh my god.
I almost crashed into 3 taxi drivers
really?
these past few days. Although,
was it your fault
I'm
or
the
theirs?
problem.
I guess so. Like that's not a coincidence.
That's
3 times.
That's too many.
Exactly. Probably you've been watching this movie and you want to like take revenge on these taxi drivers subconsciously. I don't know. The universe is just putting them in your way.
Exactly. Or they're coming in my way. They don't care at all. They literally, there's a lane. They get in front of you like you're not even there. They get into the bus lane. They're honking, it's like they saw the movie Taxi Driver and they were like, this is how I'm gonna act.
This is our city, yeah. Well, did you drive at night too? To the scum places or where Travis went to?
Yes, I'm telling you, I've been living the life of Travis. Like, at the beginning of the movie, he's looking out. Yeah. It's a close-up of his eyes, he's looking. That's me when I'm looking in the street.
The smoke that comes from
the...
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Exactly. It's like I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, why are these people in the street when the light is red? That's how he feels as well, I'm sure. He's just looking at like judging everyone. That's me.
Wow. New York is tough. It's tough. But
New York is tough, and no wonder why Travis Bickle doesn't talk to anyone and he's so lonely. I get it. I came to New York with the objective of making 100 connections. Like I'm gonna connect to so many people. Right. Meantime, I've connected to exactly 2 people, both homeless. So I have to open my horizons a little bit more, definitely.
I see. Yeah.
But then you see this guy Travis. He has even people around him. He has women. He's like somehow attractive too. He has women around him. He has cabbie friends, and he still chooses to be alone. He chooses to be so alone that at some point he lets his dark side win, basically.
I disagree. He didn't choose to be alone. The whole time he's trying to connect with others, but because of his personality and because of his like psychological disorders that he has, he's unable to focus and pay attention to other people. He lives in his mind and he projects ideas of people onto them. So he doesn't get to understand them. He just shows them what he likes, and he craves love and attention, but he's never given that. The whole time he's actually like against women a lot of times because women don't pay that much attention to him. Or like when he has friends and he talks to them, they don't really pay attention to him. Or even if they do, he doesn't pick it up. So I feel like the whole time in this movie he was trying to connect, but he couldn't. And the problem was himself.
I think exactly the opposite as you.
That's correct.
And one thing about it is that I myself a lot of the times think like, oh, I can't connect. It's hard for me to make friends or go out there. And then seeing a movie like that makes you realize actually you are the problem. Like, you're in your own way. Everyone else is super open to talking to you. And that's what you see in the movie too. He's sitting in this like restaurant with 3 other cab drivers. They're asking him questions. They're like, Travis, what do you think? What are you up to? Who did you ride with? And he's sitting there literally silent. Like, he says one word and then looks away. And then the other guy has to be like, Travis, are you listening? And he's like giving 1-word answers. It's crazy. Like, he could just tell one story. He could listen to theirs and they would immediately have him in the conversation. And the one time he tries to talk to someone, he actually goes out his comfort zone.
Yeah.
He goes up to Betsy. Betsy immediately goes on a date with him. Like, he just goes up. He's like, hey, I think you're lonely. I think we should hang out. And Betsy's like, oh, you read my mind. And then they go out together. Yeah. So he is actually putting this block fully on himself, and it's not there. He says in his voiceover, he's like, I've been destined to be a lonely man. Everyone has got somebody. I don't have anybody. Yes, because you're super fucking weird. Like, go talk to someone. He's even ran away from his family instead of just telling them what his situation is.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
I
find
agree on
he's the
this
problem.
point. I agree on this point, and that's also what I think is that he is the problem. He's the problem, but it doesn't like. It also means that he does crave attention and connection a lot. He does want that, but he can't really like perform it. He can't really execute it properly. He really wants to have friends. He really wants women's attention so badly, but he can't do it. Like, he has to learn how to communicate, and he has to overcome so many traumas and psychological problems that he has in order to get over these blocks that he has. So
that's a good point. He has had so much trauma because he was a Marine in Vietnam War. So
wow.
He got so fucked up. We talked about Full Metal Jacket already.
Yes.
And how the people who go there lose their whole identity. They come back a shell of the person that they were. Right. And that's him. And he was killing people probably while he was there. Yeah. He was completely dehumanized. And then he comes back to the city and he sees, oh, the same things are going on here. No one's truly connecting. People are selling themselves just the way I sold myself to the government. And then this guy, look at this politician is just lying. So he comes back and sees that the world is just as filthy as it was on the battlefield.
Yeah. And he has to,
that's tough.
After all these things that he's done and his experience, now he has to go back and be a taxi driver with all these, like, I imagine he had lots of ambitions, and now he comes back and has to do that. So that's also very tough for him. He kind of thinks that he is a little bit above being a taxi driver in New York City, but and the people that he's surrounded with. That's also, I think, a reason why he can't connect with those taxi drivers. It's because he thinks he's a little bit, like, not like them. He's not one of them. Yeah, I guess that's why he can't really connect with them.
He is so deep into his ego. He's like so connected to it. You see that perfectly in the scene where he's like, you talking to me? You talking to me? Oh, I'm the only one here. You talking to me?
You talking to me? Well, who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
Like that. Who do you think you are, Travis Bickle?
Exactly.
That if somebody was talking to you, it would be a problem. You are nobody. So he sees himself on this pedestal the whole time, like, oh, the scum of the earth are walking here and I could clean it up.
Right.
Well, meanwhile, he's part of the problem too.
Exactly. So lots of people are like that. Have you watched this movie called Holy Spider, I think? And so this movie is exactly like this man who thinks he's so religious, and he thinks that every woman that is in this city that sells themselves is a scum, and he has to get rid of all these women in order to clean the city. So he plans this thing, and he goes like after every woman in the city, and he kills them and murders them. And this person actually existed. It's a true story. So this person, even though he had this facade of being religious and doing this for religious reasons, it was all because of his ego. And there are so many men that don't realize that the reason that women do become prostitutes, it's also because of them because of the society that they created. Why would women do that unless because like they have to provide for themselves? Like this is the kind of system they created, and now egotistic men that can't have any women, they think of these women as like the problems, and they have to get rid of those. So it's actually really sad, and it exists in every society.
And that's exactly how Travis is too. He keeps going up to these women and saying, the guys around you, they're so stupid. Like you're in this situation that is terrible. I will save you. I'll be the person who will fix this. I'll get rid of your loneliness. Who are you really? Like Travis, if you walk out of their lives, they'll be happier than with you there. But he keeps believing that he's the one who's gonna make things better. And he's also insanely jealous. It's crazy. This other girl could have a guy friend, and he keeps going like, I hate your guy friend.
He outright
You're on
says
the date
it.
with this girl. Enjoy it.
I know, right? And these kind of people actually do exist. Like you go out with them, and that's how they treat. Like instead of actually engaging in a connection with you, like making a connection with you, they try to talk you out of other relationships that you have, or like connections that you have. Why would they do that? That's because of their insecurity, of course. It like projects itself in this way. But it was so insane to see it, especially after she rejected him, and he goes back to that institution and he has that fight. Like, oh my God, I was cringing so hard at that secondhand embarrassment. No.
It's crazy because he starts being super rizzy. How does he even manage that? This girl, she's so pretty. She's a political consultant. I don't know what she does. And he comes in and immediately she's starstruck. She can't even blink straight. They go out together. They're on a date. She's still so into it. She's like, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't into you.
Especially after she knows that he's the taxi driver that's been like spying on her for weeks. Like she knows he's a creep
she
too.
Likes that.
Yeah. And then and I was like, that's not gonna work. You know, when he was like walking to her and trying to like talk to her at first, I was like, that's not gonna work. She knows that this guy's the creep that's been watching her. But no, she was fooled just so easily. But
but then he still did well. You know, he bought her a record. He was like, let's go to a restaurant. Let me take you to a movie. He knew the steps, but just a little off.
Absolutely. He's like these kind of like narcissistic people, they actually have the best kind of charismas if they choose to like actually use it. They could know exactly what to say at the right time and like what you want to hear for you to be attached to them. And then once you actually need them, they could easily like deny you that attention that you want. So that's usually what they do. And now at the point that he actually brought her on the first date to the movie theater, but it was a porn theater. First of all, I didn't know those kind of things existed in New York at the time. And second of all, he's such a pervert. Well, not a pervert, but you got to imagine like this guy, he's had probably no action in so long. He is so lonely, and that's all he knows. And is a little bit fucked up in the mind, so he thinks that's a good gesture. He doesn't understand the woman, so that's the problem. He's so much in his head. He does not understand the needs of others, their desires, what they want, and so that's why he's blind to that. And even after that, he doesn't understand the problem with it. He's like, "Why are you leaving? What's the problem?"
I know.
I said we're gonna watch a movie.
Yeah,
and
I've seen other couples here. They come to these kinds of movies.
Oh my God. Wow.
That's tough. What would you have done if someone did that to you?
This girl is so crazy. She actually walked in. If I saw that theater, like I would walk right back. Like I'm going, bye-bye. He's a porn addict? No, thank you so much. I don't need that in my life.
Exactly. But to be fair, he only watches it in the theater. It's not like at home he has a phone to watch more. So that's one thing to think about. And you know, isn't he though? He's kind of handsome. at the beginning. His haircut keeps getting worse and worse.
He gets
throughout.
exactly until like he has this little thingy here.
The mohawk.
The moment.
But he reminds me of my ex-boyfriend in the movie. He looks very similar.
That's insane.
He's like hot, but super dangerous. No, just kidding. My boyfriend was not dangerous at all.
No.
But you know what it is?
Oh my god.
This line that he has, anytime, anywhere. He keeps saying that, anytime, anywhere. That was actually our inside joke. My ex-boyfriend and I.
Really? Did you watch this movie together?
Yeah. Yeah. And then we would say that every time we were trying to figure out when to have another fight. Anytime, anywhere.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's a toxic relationship.
If it
for
wasn't,
sure.
from a bad context like that. Super toxic.
No, it was fine.
Oh my god. But that's cute though. That's cute. You said that,
I guess.
well, the whole time, if you want to talk about his attractiveness, I did not find him attractive at all. He was... he was a little bit weaker, even though I'm kind of wondering, wasn't he like, as you said, in the Marine? So
Yeah.
why
He was so thin.
Exactly.
Yeah, poor guy. It's
well,
like he didn't
probably
get enough
I guess
food.
that makes sense. After you go to war, you're actually not that jacked or anything. You're
Exactly.
drained basically.
Mm.
So he comes back, and I didn't find he was desperate. And the thing is, I'm gonna ask you this question. I wonder what you're gonna answer. Do you like feel sympathetic or like understand him, feel compassionate towards him?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the reason why this movie works, is because so many of the things he does is things that people do on a daily basis, things that people struggle with especially. And so you think, I'm just a few bad decisions away from where he ends up. And if you think about the beginning, there's so many back-to-back points that they show us to make us relate to him. So for example, immediately we find out he's a veteran. Immediately when the movie starts, we find out, okay, he has a job. That makes us connect to him. He's a taxi driver. He's looking at the world and kind of like judging the weirdness of New York. Everyone can relate to that. And then we find out he works really long hours. So he works 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's like back to back. They show us these in the first 7 minutes even.
Yeah.
And so you can't help but like him. And then somebody calls him driver. Like they don't even call him his name. They just say, driver, pull over here. We see he's taking pills. So he has some kind of like medical or emotional problem that he needs pills for. Right. And then even his narration is so, it makes us sympathetic. Like he says, each night when I return the car, I have to clean the cum off the back or something like that. And you're like, oh, poor guy. Why does he have to do this?
That was diabolical. That was so bad. Yeah.
That was so bad. And then he tries to talk to this girl at the movie theater. And she's like, I'm going to call the manager. So she just back to back, we are meant to identify with him. And then throughout still, like we see he has a smile on his face. So he's almost like he finds everything funny. That makes us relate to him. The way, again, he can't talk to most people. Yeah. And the way he's like, I can't sleep. That's a big one. That's such a masterful way of making a character likable. Even though it's him. Like, we know this man is going to do terrible things. Absolutely. So I really did connect with him throughout. Even when he's lying, like, when he's just creating these weird stories in his mind. He's like, yeah, mom and dad, I'm working for the government. I'm doing really well, going steady with a girl. Like, everyone has done this. You always exaggerate how you're doing to make your family, friends feel better. Yeah. That's the truth. It's tough, but it's the truth. So I connected. What about you?
So for me, I try to not think of it like as a woman. Like I didn't really like relate as like a woman in the society, but I tried to put myself in his shoes, like a man in that society, in that kind of situation. And, at first you're like, oh my God, this man looks at women like objects, or like he's like that. But then I try to put myself in his shoes, and it's like, imagine a guy in this world that has like no attention from women, that has no money, that has to work these long hours in taxi, that is not fulfilled at all in his life. So he will feel really, really bad towards women. Like he would have these he would have these ideas that women are evil and they don't want me because like there's something wrong with them probably. Why is everybody so bad to me? Like, why is this society so bad? So imagine like a poor young guy doesn't have anything to recommend him in a society. He can't do anything. And he also cannot even charm women. He can't even romance them. That's like the only strategy that he would have as a poor guy. But he doesn't even have that because he has mental problems. So it's tough. The only way he can release himself from stress and whatever is in his life is probably by the theater movies that he watches, those kind of movies, and with like expressing his opinions about people that are worse than him, just so he could feel in control. You know, he's like, I'm really low in society, I'm really low and I don't have anything, but at least I'm not that low. Or like those there are people that are worse than me, so I'm a little bit better. He also has this, and also he doesn't have any power, so the only way that he can feel power is by being a hero to anyone, really. So
Exactly.
that's why at the end you justify his actions, like you understand his character going and saving this girl. Even though it wasn't much of a saving, but for him it was a big deal. He wanted to be depicted or like looked at as a hero. He wanted to be praised and know that at least he has saved one person, if not himself.
That's tough. And then do you think at the end he does save the girl? The girl goes back to her family and like he does better for himself? What do you think?
The ending is so debatable and controversial, kind of. So I guess in his mind, well, of course he did that to save the girl and become a hero. That's all his reasoning. I wonder if it actually happened. I'm not sure it happened at all. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical because this guy killed lots of people in the process and traumatized the girl. So it doesn't make sense for this girl to go, like, I don't know, go to his family, go to her family, go to school. These things, I think they all are his dream, like what he wanted to happen. He wanted for that ex-girlfriend, if you can call her Betsy, that's not even an ex-girlfriend. He wanted that girl to regret her choice of leaving him. You know, at the end of the movie, when she's just like looking at him longingly, Travis, I looked at the newspaper and like, or at the end, but he doesn't pay attention. That's like a fantasy that all of us, I think, have had, really. Like somebody that rejected you. Yeah. So I guess it was all what he wanted to happen.
Yeah, that would make sense to me too, even though the filmmakers say that it was what really happened. But it would make perfect sense for it to be fake because he's been lying the whole movie. He's constantly making himself look better than he is.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he lie at the end? Of course, after he's killed 3 people, he's going to imagine that he got rewarded for it. He saved the girl. He got his girlfriend back. That's what he would imagine. And so I even think he died. He's probably already dead. And from heaven, this is his last thought. But the filmmakers say that he did stay alive and he did get praised. And this is a commentary on how media can praise the wrong person sometimes.
Oh. But that's so cool. Like, did Martin Scorsese say that? Or like...
The writer did, Paul Schrader.
I see.
I know this much.
But one thing that they say is kind of like open for interpretation for the audience. They kind of left it that way. It's kind of like a loop, actually, the movie. You could go back again and watch it, like right after it ends.
Exactly.
It's a loop.
Oh my god, the last minute is amazing. The last shot, the last little part is so amazing because he looks happy and cocky that he had, and then suddenly the music changes and he's looking at his mirror and he's still so paranoid. And it just goes to show, even if he's still alive and even if everything went right in his life in this weird situation, he's still the same person and things are going to continue to go wrong for him. and next time he kills someone, it will not go well.
Yeah, one thing I think that's gonna happen is sooner or later Travis is gonna snap again out of his asylum, and something bad is gonna happen eventually, even if that's not a dream. That's reality. That's so sad. Wow.
This is such a great film to rewatch. Like you said, it's the most rewatchable thing ever. It actually never gets boring. And to think it wasn't a huge budget or anything, but it has so much set pieces. Like, yeah, there's lots of it is in the taxi, lots of it is just him. But then there's also the politics, this like gatherings, so many people are there.
Absolutely. It couldn't be a Martin Scorsese movie if it doesn't touch politics at all. It's crazy how he loves it. Every movie has that. And I haven't watched all the movies, but I know from what I've seen.
Every movie has exactly this dark politics that are complete lies. They're not even helping the people. The slogans that this guy had, Palantine.
Palantine. I know that because of like Valentine. The whole time I was that sounds the
Mr.
same.
Palantine. What a good name. But I would totally fall for that. If that politician was alive today and he was talking like, we the people will not take it anymore. We are the people. We will make the change. And change will not be easy. If someone said those to me, I would be like, okay, I'm going to vote for you.
Yeah. I guess like Scorsese is really like trying to give this message. Like he's fed up by politicians or like corrupt politicians. And he's just trying to say whatever he feels through his movies, which is so impactful.
That's a big theme, and
it.
also the theme of good and evil, and how close those two can be, and how you can confuse one for the other. He focuses a lot on how religion can become evil if it's not. Like, you could use it for evil ends. How politics, which are supposed to be good, end up being evil, and how a person who you can relate to can end up being so bad.
Yeah.
So he keeps talking about this over and over in all his movies. And he says, well, when I choose a character, this is what I try to do every time. I try to make him as bad as possible while still making people care for him.
Oh.
Like, how far can we take it and still make people give it?
And he's always successful every single time. He has the most outrageous evil characters and still you love them. Like take Gangs of New York, Bill the Butcher. A totally lovable character. Such a sweet little guy.
Teddy bear.
Yeah, exactly. And who else?
Sweet.
Wolf of Wall Street. Love Jordan Belfort. His tips on selling, top notch. And this guy.
And we talked about even Killers of the Flower Moon.
I know.
Latest. Both of even the uncle who was so evil.
Who's also Robert De Niro.
Exactly. And then, of course, same with the dumb Leonardo DiCaprio. You can connect to him too. So he's really good at that. And you know what? It's so cool that he's in this movie twice. Did you recognize him?
Who? Martin?
Scorsese.
Really? Where?
He's one time he's in the cab. He's the guy whose wife is upstairs, and he wants to kill that.
What? That's him? Wait, I can't. No way, that's him. Oh my god. How did I miss that?
Crazy,
He was
right?
so young.
What did you think about the actor? Like, what did you think about that scene? When
I
you watched
loved the actor, actually. His acting was so good. You know, this crazy guy that has gone crazy over jealousy.
Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was so mean too. That's how I imagine Scorsese directs. He was like, what are you doing? I didn't ask you to move the meter. Put it down. That's right, motherfucker. What are you writing? Put the thing down. Just sit. You know, that's I imagine how he directs.
I guess.
Like, he probably was improvising that, right? Because it came out
it's
so
natural. It's incredibly natural. It's like exactly not a jealous guy, but a guy that is like out of his control because he's been following his wife and he knows that he's been betraying her. So it's really emotional, but like, I don't know, he's out of his mind at that point, and you can totally see it in his tone of voice and even in the darkness in the back of a cab.
Yeah. And the way he keeps asking the same questions, I love that. Where he's like, "You probably think I'm crazy, right? Right?"
And he
You think I'm
laughs
crazy?"
too. It's
Yeah.
so like a crazy.
Damn, apparently he'd cast someone else for that part, but they couldn't make it last minute, and he was like, "I guess I could do it.
Wow.
I could do it better than somebody else we bring on last minute." And he did do a great job. And then the other time we see him is he's sitting on the corner when Betsy passes the first time. Why? I don't know. He wanted himself in the movie.
I guess I understood that one, but still I was like, there's no way he was actually in his own movie. Even though he's been in his movies all the time, like even Killers of Flower Moon, he was also in that one too. But I don't know. I just thought he wouldn't be in that part. I was like, am I hallucinating or something? That can't be him.
Right.
Because it was just a second. Just passes.
Exactly.
Why? You're gonna see these directors probably in the festival. I'm hoping you would see a Scorsese.
Exactly.
Would he come? Scorsese, would he come to this festival?
Scorsese's coming. He's coming on June 15th.
15.
And Robert De Niro is also coming, of course, because
he's
it's
in
his
New
festival.
York, I guess. Wow. Oh my god.
That's so cool. So if you're around Tribeca Film Festival, everyone, go see Scorsese on June 15th. One thing that's not real about how they show New York is they show every woman to be a hooker in the street. I would say only half.
Okay.
Just kidding.
That doesn't help at all. I thought you were not.
No, just kidding. But yeah, if you see the movie, it's like, or maybe that's how Travis sees the world. Like he only
guess
looks
so.
at the
Yeah.
hooker women.
But it's like late at night. One thing he says is that I drive like at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. Like he's driving at night, so I guess that makes sense. But
That's true, yeah.
but also it's also a filter that he has on. He only sees the worst in the city that is happening. One more thing is the racism that is going on. I can't imagine like New York. We watched Gangs of New York and we saw how bad it could get, like how easily they killed people without a second thought. It was like drinking water for them, you know, nobody bats an eye at anything that's happening or if you kill someone in front of you. So, you know that scene where he kills someone, he kills the first person? That one was so insane to me. So he does kill him, but also the owner comes and beats this dead man. Why? That's so insane. He beats the dead man.
That's so disturbing.
And he says words to him and everything. And like, that guy also takes his gun as well. So what did he do with that body? Like, what happened?
Exactly, and we never even find out. That's what's so crazy about this movie, is it shows these terrible things and it doesn't even follow up on them. And it's almost like you're in a haunted house where you get scared by something, but you keep going forward. You know that the scary thing is still back there. You're just walking away from it. So it's so terrible in this way. And to think that I'm sure that's based on a true story, or else
Of course.
why would they put it in there?
Yeah.
This man, he was stealing. Okay, that's bad. He was doing a bad thing. But first you kill him, and then once he's already dead, you're defiling his body. That was really disturbing for me.
And they would also always like throw insults about black people as well. So all the time, like, that's how they viewed them. So crazy. And they were like in one part of New York or one part of town, even though do you know which part they were like mostly talking about?
I remember one street was called Fashion Street. That's as far as I remember.
Wow. Yeah. So that's ironical. But yeah, so exactly what's happening is so insane to me, how these people that are also nothing, they view other people as also very low. It's like a hell, exactly, as even Travis said himself. It's a hell. All of them are living in the hell of New York.
Exactly. And then this hell, though, why do we keep watching it? I think one of the reasons is actually all these mysteries that are around it. They almost answer none of our questions. It's like a short film. I
was gonna say, oh my god, I thought I was the only one that thought this. It exactly looked like a short film to me. It's exactly because it's ambiguous. They don't give any answers. There are so many shots that are just, there are no dialogues. You just see them, or it's like too artistic. You know, that's what they do in short films most of the time. So it exactly felt like that. I'm so glad you said it.
It feels so fresh compared to how most films are made. That's another reason. It feels like a new person made this, like a young youth. So that's another thing that feels like a short film. And then it's like we almost learn nothing about this character, Travis. Even though we're with him the whole movie, like we don't know why is he not going back to his family? Why is he lying to them that he's in government? Who are his parents? What kind of person are they? And then what kind of person are Iris's parents? Why did she run away? We never find out. Does she actually go back to them? We don't know. What happened to that guy who was trying to kill his wife? Ooh. Like Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
We never find out how that conversation ends. It just cuts out. Like, that's the most interesting thing. Does he just get out of the car? What's going to happen?
The thing is, like...
And then... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just going to keep listing things that we don't know. Like, what's going to happen to Palantine? Is he going to get elected or not? Why are they cab drivers? Sometimes friendly, sometimes not. And then what happened between Betsy and his other guy friend that they were building up as if there was something going on, and then they just never show it again. So they keep introducing different things and then never completing it. And so it makes the audience think, if I go back to the movie one more time, maybe I'll figure it out. But the information is not there. It's like left empty for you to on your own.
Should we address some of these mysteries or like unanswered plots of the whole like movie? So for example, one of them, which one was it? Oh, the guy that was following, well, Scorsese, who was following his wife, and we saw him in the cab. And so you can see, even though we don't follow his story after that, we could clearly see what kind of impact it had on Travis. Because after that scene, he's watching a movie, and in that movie, the woman is like, I'm sorry, I cheated on you or something like that. I betrayed you. Please take me back. Something like this. Or like he's saying, oh, I don't think that's what she says. She says that I love this man. I have to go to him. Something like that. So he's like really mad about this. And he breaks the TV with his foot, actually. He just pushes the TV. So you can see that it really impacts him, all these things that men go through, that men go through. He's really impacted by that. He wants to take revenge on women. And that's why I thought that he wanted to, like, when he went in that room with that hooker, with that girl, what was her name? Iris. When he went to that room, I thought he was going to kill her because I thought he's going to, like, get rid of all the women. Like, that's his goal. But then I was happy to realize, no, he just wanted to get rid of men, so that's good. All right.
He changes his mind. Sometimes he wants to get rid of women, sometimes men.
I know, yeah. That's right. But yeah, so I guess like that's what it led up to, that scene with the woman, that wife, the cheating wife. It led to...
Of course, there's a reason it was there. I'm not saying it was super random.
Oh yeah, sure.
Not only, he also, Travis realized that he should get a gun after that. One point because there's a passenger in his car who has a gun who could easily kill him. And one because he's noticing this is what people do when they get frustrated with the world. They just grab their gun and go to get the revenge that they want. So definitely there's a good story reason for all these mysteries, but like the fact that they never get solved, that is so enticing. You want to know, you want to get back into the world to explore it. So that's really special.
And it's insane because I don't know about you, but for example, for me, I think I have some subconscious answers to all of them. Like I made a movie or like answer for all of these things. Like the election, for example, I haven't even watched it in the movie. Like what happened? What was the conclusion to that? But somehow in my mind, I feel like there was a resolution for it. I think it...
What was the resolution in your mind?
So I was like, probably he got elected or something. But the thing is like, I don't even know it consciously. But somehow, I feel like everything is answered in my mind. And I guess every viewer that watches that, their mind kind of tricks them into answering those questions for them. It's like you make the movie yourself, It's like a canvas. They give you some clues or like some prompts, but you get to picture however you want it to be. Like they give you enough for you to imagine whatever you want.
Now, I imagined that he wouldn't get elected. So that's cool that you could also imagine different things based on what your experience were in the past. But I was just thinking he didn't have that many people at his rallies.
Right.
Like, they tried a lot.
That's
but
so
I don't think.
such a good point. Yeah. That's more realistic. I mean, in New York with that kind of crowd, you're not going to get anywhere.
Okay, let's talk about now the filmmaking aspects that stuck with you, because you also think it was it was really artistic. It was different than most movies. What was it that you remember, either by scene or by shot or by emotion, that really stuck with you? Different things.
It's the first scene where we see his eyes, you know. It's actually when the movie starts and it's just on his eyes. He's looking around and there's red light on his face. I love that one. And then the smoke in the New York City coming out. Just the New York City vibes are so good.
Exactly. I wrote the first 2 shots too. It
Yeah.
starts really perfectly, where it's different than most movies, and it is you try and figure out like what is the point of view of the camera, and it really feels like we are gonna follow Travis. We
Yeah.
are people who can't make it this. We can't change him, but we can decide what to look at, and so that's our. We are the people, basically. That's what the perspective is.
Yeah.
And then where the camera moves around, it pans around like an eye, very much so, goes from one side of the room, pan to the other, as if you're looking. Sometimes the camera pans away from the person talking, so literally Travis is on the phone, and then the camera pans to the hallway. So it's almost like, in a way, you don't want to look at Travis anymore, so you look away. And then there's sometimes that it feels like it's from Travis's eye, but overall it feels like an audience. To me, it feels like a person joining Travis on this journey.
Maral, now that you described it, I kind of think what they were going for was the mental state of Travis. Travis is kind of like dissociated. He's not really present. His mind is all over the place. So maybe what the camera was trying to tell, like the point of view, was just that, At times he's focused, he's seeing whatever. But again, maybe he's doing something, but his mind goes to the hall or somewhere. Like, that's, I guess, his state of mind also. The unfocused.
I agree. If it shows from his eyes, it shows from his mentally unstable eyes, definitely. Because that's how he feels, and so that's what we would see out of his eyes. Right. But I do think part of it is from outside of him too, because sometimes he's framed in context to other people in the shot, and then you see he's in the corner. And usually if you are thinking of yourself, you think of yourself as a main character and people are around you. But when you're put into a corner, it's almost like somebody is looking at you and they are choosing to put you in the corner to show that like you're alone out there. So it would be like a scene where everyone's talking here and Travis is right at the side.
Exactly.
So I think it's a combination of his mentally unstable being and then also audience. So very cool. Another scene that really stuck out for me, so many did, but was every scene that was with Sport, the pimp of Iris. One time they're in the hallway, they're talking, and he says like, I think you're a narc. And then how fucking Travis is just looking at him, not even doing anything.
That's so well acted and well performed. It's completely insane, because usually like when you are probably acting or like directing a movie, you want things to move pretty quickly. I mean, otherwise, like if your style is to, or like the style of this particular movie is to make it a little bit slower, it's more lifelike, that's something. But the fact that this guy just stared at him for a long time, it took a lot of time for that to happen, and for neither of them to be embarrassed or like feel like they have to cut it short. That's so good. That's so good, because
so natural.
It did absolutely. And also it shows like Travis's, his ego is hit right now at that moment. Like You know, how dare you talk to me like this? And if you are like really in your ego, there are times that you can't get past an insult or even a joke. You can't take a joke at all when you are like deep into that state. So they showed it very well. That's and a little bit exaggerated, I admit, but I guess that's what would happen if you're in his shoes.
That's true. And then they make us connect to sport. How is that possible? He's the pimp.
I know.
But they make us feel like, okay, he feels awkward in this situation, so he keeps trying to say bye to Travis. He's like, okay, bye, man, have a good time. Travis keeps looking at him like, you're funny. Okay, bye. He keeps staying there. You connect with him, and then later when Sport is hugging this girl and is saying, you mean so much to me, stay.
Wow.
You know,
Even though
I'm so
that's
lucky
like
to hug you.
creepy scene, but still like
So creepy.
But it was raw. It was so emotional.
Exactly. But then don't you think he's lying? Because that's his job, though.
Absolutely,
Because
he's
he has
lying.
to make these women feel special so they would stay, basically.
Especially a young girl. Like, she's 12. 12, and she knows exactly what... Like, that's how she views herself. And she can't fathom somebody actually wanting to save her. Or, like, she doesn't even think that she needs saving. She thinks it's normal. And the kind of life that she lives is... She just knows what to do. At 12? At 12? How is that possible?
That's so tough. And even the actor was 12. What? Jodie Foster was 12 when she acted here.
She did a really
I can't
good...
believe it. I think either she won an Oscar or she was nominated. But that's for good
Really?
reason.
Did this movie
There-
win any Oscars?
It was nominated for many. I'm not sure if it won, but it was nominated
How
for many
could
Oscars.
it not?
And even exactly. Scorsese's movies, they haven't received so many Oscars.
So
But that's
underrated.
usually the case. You know, even Kubrick didn't receive any Oscars in his lifetime other than one for
Wow.
special effects. Actually, that's so random. What was I gonna say? Robert De Niro had won an Oscar for another movie right before this.
Oh.
And then I heard he was driving cabs for a little time because he always tries to get into the mind of his characters by doing their job. So he was driving cabs, this Oscar winner. And then one time this actor came into his car and he was like, oh my God, is the business this bad that you have to drive cabs?
Oh my God.
But he was just
He didn't say anything?
doing research. He doesn't say anything ever. De Niro is the quietest man that is like exactly like Travis Bickle. It's actually so awkward to talk to him, I imagine.
Oh
If
my.
you watch his interview, he just looks like he's done with everyone. Like he doesn't need to talk.
Damn. And also that takes a lot of humility and not having ego to like not straight out say, no, I'm trying to act out, I'm trying to method act, you know, please believe me, I'm not a taxi driver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That he has humility. He's not like Travis in that department then.
This is true, exactly. So many scenes in this movie, especially so many shot choices are unique as heck. It's definitely worth viewing many times. The way it tells the story completely visually is shocking to me. Like there's a lot of scenes that there's no dialogue and it's only the camera panning from here to there or just showing what he does and then a little bit of voiceover maybe. And we know exactly how he feels, what he's going to do next. So this is definitely one of those movies that are worth studying shot by shot if you want to become a filmmaker.
And not only that, not only the visual aspect, but the music. So I was like halfway through the movie and nothing like crazy had happened or that would give me the impression that Travis was a crazy person or like he had any psychological disorders. But just the music was so weird. Well, of course, there are scenes where it shows New York and there's a jazz music playing. That's top notch. That's so good. I love that. I felt like I was in New York. But there are some soundtracks, some music that is going on like throughout the movie at times that is so weird. You know, it's wobbly. It's so crazy. Like it scratches your soul somehow, and you're like, oh, that's annoying. That's so disturbing. Something bad is gonna happen, and I know it. This character is up to no good. He's gonna do something bad. and you know it, that it's going to come up. And then you messaged me and you said that, oh, this is a really disturbing movie. Be prepared for it. And I was like, that makes sense. Yeah. Just by music. Like, I wasn't even that much into the end of it, or like I hadn't seen anything.
The first half, there's no indication that he's going to go crazy.
No.
He's almost charismatic. He's like super pathetic and sad. And so you're like, oh, maybe he will learn to be a better taxi driver by the end.
Right. Or like he would go after his goals, or like he would become like, you have so many things in your mind that could happen. Yeah. And
it's
also
so amazing. It's like, yeah, the best categories of people came together to make this. The music is unbelievable. The way it has the scary themes, but also the love themes that are so iconic. Like even today when you hear it, you know that's the song. Dun, 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 dun. It's something like that. And then there's also some mesmerizing music that is like, I don't know, it sounds like bells maybe at the end of the movie, especially where you just get hypnotized looking at the screen. So the music is untouchable. Then the script, which we talked about already, the way it builds the characters and makes you care for them and leaves so many questions. So good. And then the way they directed it too, visually, the best. It's so unique. And then, you know, of course, it also has really good themes to think about and this morally gray area.
Yes.
So I'm always so touched by this movie, even though it's hard to watch. It's not something you want to watch every day, but it is worth going back to.
Absolutely. One thing that was kind of unresolved for me, and I kind of don't understand the reason for it, was when he goes to assassinate that Palatine and he's unsuccessful. So like they built up everything to that moment, and then he doesn't even get to shoot at all. He doesn't kill even one person. Oh,
What?
I was expecting that. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's like, okay, I guess I was unsuccessful in that, but the days is not over. I can still kill someone. So he goes back to the brothel and like, yeah.
That's true. Exactly. It's like he didn't even care who he killed. He just wanted that power. I'll just kill one person today and that'll be my checklist. It's like, you know, I make those spreadsheets like for him.
Right.
Kill one person, save
Today.
a whore.
I know. That's so true. And also, like, you know, there are so many scenes that he's like looking at all these women in the street and like he talks, and there's a voiceover of him like saying these are scumbags and everything. So you kind of expect him, once he gets the guns and he's worked out and he's ready and he's planned everything out, you expect him to actually go and do something more. Like, I didn't think he would focus on one girl and like try to save her. I thought he's going to kill either these women or clean the streets of New York, or like that fashion street. That one fashion street.
Exactly.
He didn't. He just focused on one person.
He probably would
or,
have
like-
done that though, but he got injured so badly, or else I'm sure he would have continued.
Really? You think that would have happened?
Cause he bought 4 guns. No way he
Yeah.
bought those just for the one person.
He lost one of them though. Once he killed the first person that he killed, the store owner took the gun that he had. So I was like, no, he paid for that. Gun is reusable. Why would you like take it away after one shot? And then I know, I was really like fuming
I think
there.
that it's so crazy that they've tried to make him be the Batman of this story. Like he's going to go at night and save the streets little by little.
Yeah.
And then he ends up being the inspiration for the movie Joker. This is such
Really?
like if you've watched the movie Joker, you'll
Yeah.
see it's exactly this combined with another Scorsese movie called The King of Comedy. He's taken these 2 movies and then turned it into Joker. So how it's almost like Batman was completely is connected to this movie.
Batman? Really?
I mean, Batman was created before, of course. It was a comic book. But then later, all these movies, live action movies, were after. And they were so inspired. And even it takes place in Gotham City, which is supposed to be New York. They just gave it a different name.
Right. So they actually
legacy.
started something. Exactly. They started a legacy so much bigger than just this movie. They created a character persona, like an archetype that could be used.
And to think it was just a movie. You know, they were just like, we want to tell this story, this dark story about a man who has had too much and then he makes bad decisions. They made that, and then it became an iconic film that everyone watches, put their poster on the wall, you know.
Right. Exactly.
It's become a thing.
It kind of reminded me of this movie called what? American Psycho. Yeah, but American Psycho is so much crazier and like funnier. It has comedy. I kind of expected him to go that route, but he was a bitter character, or like too depressed to be like that.
Yeah, a lot of I guess Scorsese became more funny as he got older, but his earlier movies are straight up dark. There's barely any humor.
Damn.
You know what happened to Scorsese? This is the craziest. He made a few great movies that were super successful. So he made this, Mean Streets, and I think he made another one called New York, New York, and that one didn't do good at all. It was critically a failure. It was commercially a failure.
Oh, damn.
And then he was like, what am I going to do now? I've ruined my chances. Every time when you're in the Hollywood system, every time you make a movie, that could be your last movie if you mess it up. Ooh. And it's like, it's not like, oh, I have this background of all these movies I made. That should save me. No. It's all about the next movie that you make.
Really?
So he was really depressed. He was so hurt. And he was like, I don't know how I'm going to go forward. And I think he'd become addicted to cocaine at that point. And so he overdosed. He overdosed to the point that he was on the hospital bed. He was going to die. And then on the hospital bed, Robert De Niro came to visit him. And he was like, here, I have a book for you. And at this point, imagine...
A self-help book?
Scorsese's life has gone down, you know. It's like, it's in the dumps. His movie has failed. He doesn't think he has any future. His friend comes to visit. He brings a book, and the book is called Raging Bull. And he's like, we could make this into a movie. Please get better. And then Scorsese gets better, and they make Raging Bull. And that revitalizes... I don't know, fixes up his career, becomes this really classic movie as well. Raging Bull is a great film that we should talk about. And then after that, he still makes so many classics. Like, he thought his career was over at that point, but it was only the beginning. And then he kept making good films after that.
Poor guy. And I can't imagine, like, if these people that are this successful, I mean, he was to a point that De Niro was his friend. Exactly. He had made all these movies. So, wow, like, to think that at that point he was this low, I guess.
Exactly. It's
nobody's
so tough.
safe. Nobody's safe from this kind of like depression or like feeling self-doubt.
Exactly. And I think the phrase they use in Hollywood is, you're only as good as your next movie, or something like that, or your last movie. And so you just keep being in this cycle of never ending, trying to climb this ladder. And then even you hear there's these filmmakers who've made tens of great films, and still they're struggling to get funding for their next film. You know, they go to Netflix, they go to Prime, they go to instead of going to the studios, they go to somewhere smaller. Yeah. And you just think, what? Give these people money, let them make their movie. Like Francis Ford Coppola has made a movie called Metropolis. I think it's coming out next year, and he self-funded it again. He used his personal money to make it because they weren't giving him money.
How is that possible? Such a big name, and you're not gonna give them any funds to make their movie? Artists are always struggling no matter what they do.
The point I was trying to make was, even the reason I brought it up is, I think after he almost died is when he gained his sense of humor. He realized, this is not as serious as I thought. Maybe I should be funnier with my stories. Maybe.
Poor guy. That took him that long to understand the power of comedy and jokes. At least we know this, you know? At least, like, I was always, like, one of those people that thought the dark themes, dark movies, or, like, dark stories are so much better there. I thought this is so shallow, but I thought they're, like, intellectually more advanced. Because you have to dig deep. You have to understand it. You have to get there. But actually now I realize that comedy is so much smarter than anything else. Because you tell the story, and your message, the same message that you would tell them through dark themes, you would tell it in a way that people wouldn't even understand that you taught them a lesson. Like, that's brilliant. And it's so much smarter than anything. So comedy is definitely the way to go. And sad that this guy
Exactly.
had
And
to
it's so
learn
much
it the hard
harder
way.
to not only are you getting the message across, but you have to say it in a way that makes people laugh.
I know,
That's so much
entertain
harder.
them. Absolutely. So in a way, it's actually so much more intellectually advanced to use comedy to tell your stories.
And so that kind of brings us to so many other movies we should talk about. I think in the future of the podcast, we should definitely talk about Raging Bull and so many other Scorsese movies. We definitely should talk about The Departed, Shutter Island,
Yes.
maybe even Wolf of Wall Street. Maybe not. We'll see. And Casino, Mean Streets, so many of those.
Yeah.
American Psycho, we should definitely
Yes.
talk about. And then...
And
New
we also
York, New
talked
York, his
about
comedy.
Oh yes, that's fun. And we also talked about Gangs of New York. So if you want to watch that video, also go and check it out on our
Gangs
channel.
of New York. It really shocked us. We loved it so much, and it moved us a lot. So check that episode out.
Yeah.
And you know what else we should do? The King of Comedy. This is one of the most disturbing movies that I've ever seen.
Really?
There isn't any blood or anything, but it's emotionally the most painful. Seriously, it's like it holds a mirror up to your face, and you realize that you are a terrible, worthless piece of shit. And it's, or maybe I think
already
watched this a few
think
years
this
ago.
every day, so I don't need
Exactly.
the validation from a movie. Oh my god.
Exactly. But it's tough, like the way it's so real. I think for this generation, it connects them with us so much. But it was made in the 70s, I feel like, or the 90s. Another Scorsese movie with Robert De Niro.
Oh,
Tough times.
he loves these actors. He loves Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. He just works with these guys.
Exactly.
Why on earth? And also the other one, Age of Innocence. It's his, right? Isn't it?
The Age of Innocence is his.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another
With-
passion project of his.
Daniel Day-Lewis. He loves that actor as well. So these three.
And The Silence is another one he made with
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Garfield, so I'm sure you'll like that one.
That's so cute. Okay. We gotta watch that one as soon as possible.
And I really want to watch Three Idiots.
Yes,
Two idiots
yes,
could
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about three idiots. Wouldn't that be perfect?
That's the math I want to talk about. Yeah.
So
That's
it's so
cool.
many movies to talk about, but we want to know, what are your favorites?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, what movies and books are you interested in? Someone suggested Chekhov. Oh my god, I would love for us to read Chekhov. What do you think? A Chekhov play?
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
We could read Uncle Vanya.
I haven't
Taste
heard
of
of that.
Cherry.
Ooh.
It could be so exciting. I think plays would be, that's one thing we haven't done ever, so that could
Yeah.
be super cool to do.
I know. I love plays too. That would be so great. So thank you so much for watching this episode, and please comment down below what you think of this character, this disturbing character and movie, and
What do
What
you think
mov-
about the ending? Is that a true ending for him? What do you think is going to happen to him next
right
in the life of Travis Bickle? And let us know, once again, which films, books, and plays you're interested in hearing about next. Also, Enter the Void. We'll do that as well. I'm so excited.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you again, and please watch other videos that we have right now, Gangs of New York and other Scorsese movies. What else do we have? Do you know?
Killers of the
Oh
Flower
yeah,
Moon.
that's true. Killers of the
We
Flower
also have a
Moon.
whole Kubrick series. So many of his films have been covered. Check it out.
Yeah. Thank you so much, pals, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you anytime, anywhere. Bye.